After 20 years of work, the Symphonic Library is finally finished. Our methods of crossing key maps give it a realism beyond any of the old sample libraries. Soon it will be available. Since the library will be offered on SD cards for Zulu SCSI drives, I'll cover how to use an SD card with EMU samplers in this video. Until last year, I did not know of the Zulu drives. I had been using these zip drives for many years, and this is some of the many drives I've gone through. Very often, the mechanics fail of them. Like this, the button spring just failed on it. So when I found the Zulu drive, I was really thrilled. And what's great about this is a SCSI Zulu drive, is that it has up to 7 virtual drives. This one Zulu drive could store more information than all these zip drives could combined. And the cards just snap in and out. To put the card in, the face should be down. That's the way they go in. I'll show how to connect the Zulu drive to the zip drive in a SCSI chain to transfer files. Yeah, this is the through. So I have this connected to the Zulu drive, and then this would go directly to the sampler. Zulu drives can be ordered from the site Sampler Zone. There is a link to the site in the comments section below. This is some of our samplers. I'm going to be using the EMU ESI 2000 for the demonstration. So now I'll turn on the sampler, and when the Zulu drive boots up, a blue light will shine. Yeah, there it goes, it's booted. If by chance the Zulu drive is not booted, I did find that with some of the SD cards that I bought on my own. So you can just go into Master, and then select Disk Utilities, and then hit Mount Drives, and that will make sure that it's mounted. So now, if you go into Drive Select, you'll see the Zulu drive is there, and this is where I have my zip drive. So what I'll do is I'll select the zip drive, then load one of the files. It's first piano, the Frankengran. I'll load that up. And by the way, I think the zip drive is not as fast as a Zulu drive. It takes a little longer. So now, to transfer that to the Zulu drive, I don't know why it's called a Zulu drive. And when I did a search on it, I mean, I saw a tribe in Africa. I think a better name would be the rubber chicken drive. And then I can save this to, I already have the Frankengran on the Zulu drive, but I'll just find a blank bank here. There's an empty bank. So now I'll save it to the Zulu drive, and then that's a way to transfer files from a zip drive to a Zulu drive. Okay, so now I'll show how files are set up on the Zulu drive on my computer. When you order a Zulu drive from Sampler Zone, it'll come with an SD card with these files on it. So if you open this folder, it'll list all the virtual drives. When you order a Zulu drive from Sampler Zone, you'll specify which sampler you're using. And I had mine formatted for the Emulator 4 and the ESI. So I mentioned earlier that if you're going to be using the Zulu drive in a SCSI chain with a zip drive, you want to make sure that there is not a conflict of SCSI IDs. So this is a listing of all the virtual SCSIs. The Zulu drive can have up to 7 drives on an SD card at one time. If you have the zip drive set to SCSI ID 6, you don't want a virtual drive with the same ID. So in order to do that, these are all the virtual drives. And what you do is you put an X in front of the HD60, that's for the recognize this ID 6. And that way, by putting that X in front of it, you can connect the Zulu drive to the zip drive in a chain without a conflict. When you order a Zulu drive from Sampler Zone, there will also be blank images on the SD card, and that's very helpful because when I tried to connect the Emulator 3 to use it with the images that I had formatted for the Emulator 4 and the ESI, the Emulator 3 couldn't recognize it because it only can recognize drives that are up to just below 1 gigabyte. So fortunately, there are some blanks here. And you have to open these, though, and unzip them. So, okay, I can just take one of these images and then extract it. Okay, now I can copy this image. I extracted. So you have to have some kind of software to extract it, copy it. And then now I can copy it to the Zulu drive for use. Okay, so that's all for now. The SD cards with the Symphonic Library should be available sometime next week. So until next time, take care.